Hello and welcome to the GhostÉire channel. Hi, my name's Anthony Kerrigan, and tonight we're going to be talking to Jeri Beavers of Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma. And we're going to be talking about 3 agendas tonight. We're going to be talking about equipment, abilities that benefit investigations. We're also going to be talking about types of investigations as well. And we're also going to be talking about Muskogee House, the Hell House. Joe's going to inform us about her experiences there. Now, I'd like to say hello to Sinead. Sinead, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you? How's it going? I can't wave because I know I'll distort the image, but hello from Dublin. I think I look a bit static already, so. But I'm back.
Oh, we're all static.
Exactly.
We're all ecstatic that you're here, finally.
Yes, ecstatic that I'm here, but static.
So Sinead is going to just tell us how you're going to contact us tonight.
So if anybody wants to get in contact tonight, please go ahead, please do. And if you want to do so on the page underneath this, you can write down your name, a question, and if you're affiliated with any group, please let us know what group that is or a company. Or if you want to private message us, you can head on to GhostÉire.net, head on to the contact page, fill in the form and put in brackets private message, just explaining what you want. You know, maybe perhaps it's a private thing you want to write to us about, or is it a question or anything else? Feel free to do whatever. But yeah, for the next hour, you can ask away any questions you wish here to Jeri. So that's it.
Thank you, Sinead. And as Joe was just saying, I'm from County Kerry myself, so I'm on the west of Ireland and Sinead's on the east of Ireland. And we have Jeri here, who's from Central United States of America. How are you doing, Jeri?
I am just amazing. It's a little hot, but other than that, it's amazing. Pretty fun. Having a good time so far.
Great. And I know there might be a bit of delay, but at least I can't hear myself there. So, Jeri, first of all, Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma, and you want to talk about the equipment and the abilities that benefit investigations. First of all, what abilities do you?
I have all the clairs, hear, see, touch, smell, feel, eye vision. I do channel. I do a little bit of all the things. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. And that's kind of how I think I stumbled into paranormal investigations. I was looking for something to help with dealing with the things that I was experiencing.
Interesting. And how long have you been experiencing these? Oh, go ahead, Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sinead.
I'm interested. I've had experiences as long as I can remember. I've always seen what some people call shadow people, but I don't think they're true shadow people as in the negative things. It's just you don't have your abilities keen enough to make out what is presenting itself. So you only see the outline. So pretty much all my life, it's been,
Interesting. And so your team at the moment, how long are they up and running, or how did you get started with them?
The team has been around for 10 years. I joined the team about 4 years ago as an investigator. Last year I was promoted to co-owner and president. We've had some amazing new members with some amazing talents, and they're just getting their feet wet, but I can tell it's a powerful team now.
Fantastic.
And what types of equipment do you use then as well, Jeri?
What I keep in my bag. This is what I keep in my bag. I have other things. My favorite things are like the flashlight, your recorder, an EMF meter. There's actually 2 different kinds that I carry. Oh, can you see it? It's the wrong way. Okay. Your regular K2, and here's another one that just has just the colors. And it's not going to show up. Oh, there we go. Oh, that way.
Go to
I go backwards. I know. This is just in my bag, right? My spirit box. I love my spirit box. and I found this little flashlight that clips onto your phone, which is pretty cool. So it's just like, you know, if you're out and about, it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
So that's just what I have in my bag. We also have static meters, which are called 360s. I think you guys have some of those kind of things over there. I don't happen to have one here. Actually, I do have a mel meter. I keep a mel meter in my bag now. So who doesn't have a mel meter in their bag? Right?
It's well on top of everything else.
Other than that, I know pretty much cameras. I mean, there's a lot of gadgets out there. And a recorder are probably the best things out there.
And as you said you got the 360 like kind of EMF device there. That's
yes.
I've seen.
That's yes.
It's not very much used over
the Mohawk. They do use them a lot here. They call them a 360. So you'll see them on the American TV shows quite a bit. There's different kinds. There's the ones that look like a mohawk that stand up backwards like this. And then there's a kind that are round and it has a colored dome and it has different colors that go around in a circle. So that's why they call it 360. And my new toy that I'm getting ready to purchase is an SLS. Have you guys ever used one of those?
There's the standard light sensor. Yeah, the 3D mapping of a figure.
Of the person.
Yes. Yeah, so it's like the kinetic thing. Those are amazing. I think those are great because that helps corroborate maybe something that you're feeling and somebody who may not have abilities or be disbelieving in a sort of words to say that there is an entity next to you because it picks up that. It's pretty cool. We've had some really good experiences with other teams who have one. And like I said, you don't have to have all the fancy stuff, but who doesn't want toys, right? We all like toys.
True. And what's what's different between like so you've done your investigations and all that, and you say that you the benefits of it there, like what have you noticed like personally in your own life, and second, what has been, what would you say is the benefit of investigating? What stands out that, let's say like normal TV, say from your normal TV, like in Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma?
Everybody thinks that everything happens like wham, 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 but what they don't realize is the TV shows, that's probably a week worth of investigation crammed into 30 minutes and all the hot things happening. So basically, people don't realize that you're sitting in the dark with some of your closest friends talking to yourself. And that's basically a lot of our time. And then there are some nights that it's hot all the time. So you walk in and it's already, things are starting to happen. Hair pulls, you're getting whispers, some of the fun stuff. Your K2 goes off, your 360 goes off, and you're like, man, wow, this is awesome. Then you get everything set up and then you sit down and it stops because they're teasers. So it's just, there's a lot of different things that go on. So we like the playful ones myself.
So at the moment I'm presuming you're based in Oklahoma, right? Do you take off around road trips around
we do
states
some road
to
trips.
Any other location?
We go to surrounding states. So last year we did a lot of Texas. We did some Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. So as long as it's driving distance, because we don't get paid to do this, it's kind of an expensive hobby. So we try to do things that are easy on the pocketbook. So traveling does come into play a little bit.
Yeah. And when you're go ahead, Anthony. Yeah.
I got
we're gonna.
Shut up, Sinead.
I will try. I'll try.
Don't take that from him.
You've stated like all the different states you go to and all that, and is there a cultural difference in between? I'm not saying like this, but like Europe, we have so many countries, and Europe is about the size of United States. Is there a cultural difference in investigating
as far as like
that you've noticed? Like, differences of
there is.
opinion?
I mean, even within our own city, there are different styles. I'd like to think that are very professional and very we treat the spirits as if they're still alive, because they're people too. We don't go in yelling and commanding them to do things. We're there to ask or to listen to their story, and we seem to get a little bit more evidence, if you want to call that, or activity, when you are polite. Because when you go into if you, as a person, go into a business and you're rude, you're not going to get the kind of response that you want, right? So I think that as far as investigations, you would act the same way.
Go on, Sinead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just interested in the type of locations you've been to. I mean, what has been the biggest you've been to, or the most interesting, I should say? It doesn't have to be the biggest.
The biggest one, the most active one.
Active would be the word. Yeah.
See. Active would be probably the tuberculosis center in Central Arkansas. It's always busy there. There are different floors. There's a children's floor, which for whatever reason the children love to come and play with me. They try to trip me, push me. I say they pick on me, but I know they're not. They're just playing. And then there's a floor that was for the older patients, and on the very end was for very active patients. How do you want to say that? Violent patients. They have a cage, and down in the cage, there's always, you can tell Mr. Grumpy is there. Never had anybody hurt. Nobody scratched that I know of, but it's very apparent that you're in somebody's space. So the words that we get across our spirit box are very aggressive. So, and then even down in the basement where the morgue is, you get to go down the morgue and all the fun stuff. It's just active. All sorts of things go off. Like, you may not get answers, but you'll get activity off. You'll get hits off your K2, your 360. Maybe even some random words from the spirit box that might relate to the era. And there are even files down there that you can. We've tried using some of the names. We haven't had any luck yet, but hopefully the next time we go, we'll have a little bit of luck with using some names. But that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
The place is like you mentioned, like it was in a TB kind of consumption, TB kind of hospital, was it? Asylum?
Yes. Yes. It was a tuberculosis asylum. Yeah. Yes. And, it's set up in the hills. It's beautiful. It's still working. Mm-hmm. And there are
what
still
would you do, say,
after investigations, as far as leaving?
As far
after
as
the investigations,
as in results, as in, like, would you? How long would it take you to evaluate? Evidence.
If we run all of the evidence, are you drinking a little bit? You drink a little bit. Okay.
No,
the evidence. It could take us up to 2 to 3 weeks.
Just one second.
I would just knock myself over. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. As far as evidence, usually it takes us 2 or 3 weeks, depending how many people we have available to do the evidence review. Yes, to go over the evidence. We do. Everybody tries to pitch in a little bit. We do have a back office team. They don't get to travel with us as much as they used to, so they do a lot of our evidence review. Willow, she can pick up like a class C, like anybody could pick up a class A, and she hears stuff, and it's just amazing the things that she can pick up. So once we go over that, then we'll share with the client anything amazing that we have found, or maybe it's something that doesn't make sense to us, but it might make sense to them. And then we'll go back and talk to them about that. So out of state, it's a little bit different. Like the TV hospital, they don't want anything back unless it's like super cool, and they just want that for personal reasons, not for the hospital. Yeah, we kind of hang on to some of that, and we use that for training our members as well, because we know if we have something, and we like to train. I mean, on the job training is like the best training you can get, right, with paranormal stuff. So
yeah, it's very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
And how long would your investigations last? Like, how long would you actually spend at a location?
I've spent myself. I've done a couple of solo things. I've spent 2 days in a location by myself. I stayed in a hotel. I was the only patron there, so that was pretty interesting. I didn't get a whole lot of what I would say presentable evidence, but I did have a lot of experiences there. But as a team, we usually go and we'll stay like 5 or 6 hours. If it's a business, you know, people do have to go to work and things like that. So we try not to keep our business clients out way too late. So we usually go start about 9 and wrap it up about 1 or 2.
Okay.
And then she said, like, you know,
not staying too late, so you don't tire yourself out.
Teams, like with
right.
paranormal teams there, like we all seem to
sometimes
have, like,
I've been to some locations that the activity is more prevalent in the daytime than it is at nighttime. So those are fun to do. So you can go and, you know, sit and have a cup of coffee or eat some lunch and watch all the things happen. And people are looking at you, why are you over there laughing?
Yeah,
and like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Carry on about your day.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily things do occur after hours when it's dark. You know, perhaps things occur more readily, like in the afternoon. So maybe,
right?
Perhaps, like
I think that we see them more at night because we're more aware of our surroundings because it's dark. You know, you want to pay more attention to where you're stepping or things that are coming out down the dark hall, that kind of thing. So
you're kind of more in tune.
We did a
your
blind.
Senses are just heightened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Heightened senses. That's how I would put it.
So, like, you can hear me both, can you? Because I don't know. I'm
yes.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm here.
You're here. You had a bit of a fall there, but you're back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm disturbing you two women. I was just going to say, like, with people like paranormal teams, they do use like a location as a base. There's a certain location that paranormal teams would use, like yourselves. We have one too as well. And I suppose people, if you're not into the paranormal or you're watching this now or thinking of joining the paranormal field, usually if you're thinking of joining a team, usually a team would bring you out to a location just to see how you work with the location and see how you are. You're so lucky to have a nice, well, it's an amazing historic
sort of like a test,
building where you go to at home. I'm just going to go through a few questions, a few hellos.
Yeah.
So before I say anything there, folks, we have got a poll tonight as well. If you the time to vote as well, we'll be finishing the poll in about 15 minutes, and it's to do with what is the most fascinating Irish fairy. Also, we're doing a quiz now, which we'll show you in a minute. I'm just going to say a few shout outs. So we have Joanna Lyons. She says hello all.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Hello.
We have Lindsay Critchley. She says hello. Lindsay, another GhostÉire team member.
Hello,
Hi,
Lindsay.
Hello, Lindsay. Yeah. Yeah.
We have Joe
Nice to meet you.
Buness. Says hello. Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Edward Doyle says very interesting.
Hi, Edward.
And Lindsay, a GhostÉire team member, she says, higher on a lot of American supernatural programs, there's always seems to be at location lots of satanical conjurings taken place in the past. Is that really that common over there, Jeri?
Well, let's just say television and ratings. They're always going to be the need for some history, whether or not what they find as far as satanical conjurings, I guess is really the good word for it. It may or may not be really why the things happen where they are. Sometimes the things are already happening and people go in to do rituals, and they may stir up something a little bit more, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's why the activity is there. And I think that goes for just about any place, no matter where you are, whether in the US, Canada, Ireland, wherever. But the world is magical. So you really don't know why the things start where they do. Well, you kind of do, but as far as, not everything is satanic, I would say.
No. No,
Yes.
and we got Joanna says, I'm good here and listening. Thank you, Joanna. And she says witchcraft. Interesting.
Witchcraft is interesting. I think witchcraft gets a lot of bad rap as far as a lot of things. A lot of times witchcraft is basically honoring nature, and rituals are about honoring our ancestors and our elders, honoring the things that they have taught us and handed us down through the generations. So, I mean, stirring your coffee could be considered witchcraft, because you're going in a circle and you're opening a portal, right? So whatever you want to manifest for that day, you can put in your coffee. So, yeah, it's different. It just depends how you look on it. Perception is a lot, which is about any religion. So witchcraft, I think, gets a lot of bad rap in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, I wish I don't drink coffee, because I'm a tea.
He might turn into a demon.
I'm not,
yeah.
I don't delve too much into the evil. Yeah.
Stir your tea, right? You stir your tea.
Exactly. Yeah, he's too evil already.
I'm joking. So I'm just going to go over the quiz.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go over the quiz. Just 1 second. Show up there. It comes up there. So today, folks, we're doing a quiz there. It's a chance to enter a draw for October, where you can win the prize. So it's 2 words today, and it's to do with what's the clue, Sinead?
What am I supposed to do? Have any clue?
No, there's no clue.
Hello?
If you can you hear me, Sinead? It doesn't matter.
I can now. Yes.
No, so the clue,
No, I don't have
is
the clue.
a phantom
You had the
vehicle.
clue.
So yes, I know I have the clue.
Yeah, I got to do.
You were supposed to hold it up so you could read it.
Yeah, here it is. Here's the answer.
Vehicle.
Oh my
gosh.
So it starts with L_C__NS. Then it's a new word, T__N. Okay, so it's 2 words. If you can get that in before the end of the show, you're going for a special prize there. And if you can't, nobody else can get it.
Do you want the answer now?
Jeri might get it. Sinead, you already did last week. Though.
Yeah.
No, not you, Sinead.
I can't hear
I
anything.
got the
Hello,
giggles.
Sinead?
Thanks.
I can hear you, but you keep dipping in and out. Like, I can hear you, and then I don't hear you.
Tell people how they can contact us.
Now I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we have just half an hour left to go. So you can message us here on the page underneath this video. If you want, put your name here, your question, who you're affiliated with, or if you want to privately message us, no problem at all. You can head over to GhostÉire.net, head onto the contact page, put it as soon as possible, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, so we're talking about types of investigations there, Jeri, and tell me, what would you classify as an investigation?
Or find evidence. That's how I would define that, an investigation.
Okay. And what types of investigations do you do with the paranormal investigating?
I highly recommend it. I've to do solos. Those are where you go by yourself. I highly recommend that if you do those, please be very careful. Don't go any place that you shouldn't be. Make sure you have permission to be there. And especially if you're by yourself and you're going to an abandoned building, please make sure that you're able to call somebody in case something happens. When I say I do a lot of solo stuff or some solo stuff, I'm not randomly going out and going into some abandoned building that looks like it's going to fall down. I may stay a night at a hotel by myself. I had earlier I talked about staying 2 nights in a hotel by myself. It's a well-known hotel. They do rent the rooms all the time, so it's not like I just went and stayed in an abandoned hotel. So that's one kind. Then you would have a team investigation where it's you and your team or one other person. You know, a team could be more than one person, or you could do paid charity celebrity events. And all 3 of those, I think, have their merits, and they all have a place in paranormal investigations. I really do like to do paid and celebrity events. You get more people coming in who have the interest of the paranormal, who may not just be have the nerve. I say some people come and say, I'm scared something's going to happen, and we want them to know that you are having a paranormal experience every day. You may not realize that you are, and it's okay. You don't really need to be afraid just in your everyday life or going to some place that is a paid event, because we would never take you. I know my team would never take you to a place that has a known negative entity. And it's just all about the experience, because that's what a lot of people are looking for, is the experience.
And so do these paid or celebrity events, they pop up often, or how does that come about, or where do you go to do those?
They used to happen a lot more until this year. That you could find a paid event anywhere. In Oklahoma and Texas, you could probably find one every weekend. It could be something as simple as doing a ghost walk, learning about the history and learning how to use the equipment. Or in January, we did a really big event in Texas for a charity, and we had into some celebrities, and there were 4 locations, and I think we ended up with 60 people, and they were there to have the experience and to meet the celebrities and to support. So there's a lot of different reasons somebody would go to an event to be paid, and they don't really have to be that expensive either. And maybe somebody wants to learn how to use the equipment, but they don't know. I mean, they want to know, do I really have to have all these things? And no, you don't. And those are the kinds of things that would explain to you. And we let them be in charge of the investigation. Like, it's their investigation, and we let them ask the questions, and we let them lead how we want to do the locations that we go to next, that kind of thing.
That's fantastic. It kind of spurs on and more of an interest as well for people, kind of expands.
Yes. I really like when the younger kids come. Kids, I think the younger kids are amazing when they come, because the kids, they are naturals. They ask the questions that we should be asking, like, how are you? What, can you see me? The simple questions. They're just so natural at it. And the parents are like, I'm sorry they're asking so many questions. No, honey, you go home and you buy them a K2 and you buy them a flashlight and you let them do their thing, because they are amazing at this. They're not afraid to ask the questions, but they also are a lot in tune with things that may not be, I don't want to say demonic or anything like that, but they can tell the grumpies from anybody, the other entities, just like you can tell when you walk up on a person if they're grumpy. So they have that really great ability, because they're still open. They haven't been jaded by the world yet.
And what age would what age would you teach or show like what you do? To which age would be?
If it's a fun little event, sometimes I would say if the child is showing interest, not to run around and act like, sometimes children just are children, and they're polite and they're well behaved, and they are more than welcome. Sometimes we've had some adults that are not well behaved, but if they understand what's going on, then they're more than welcome to come. We've had somebody as young as 8 come, and they were amazing. I showed them how to use the K2. I let them lead the investigation. We had so much fun. We had so many responses just to the child. It was amazing. So it just really depends on the child and where you were going. If it's a really late night investigation, I would probably say no. It depends on the situation. But we want to teach our children that it's okay, that maybe they have abilities and they are seeing these things. We don't want to shun them from that. And but we also don't want to scare them.
True.
Exactly.
True. That's very good. Exactly. Like, and as you said, I suppose.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about.
Yes.
I suppose tonight in this country we don't usually sort of do that sort of thing. We don't. I suppose people are less open to show, like, even the sort of the equipment that is used, or the sort of gadgets, or the way children can develop themselves. It's not usually talked about on in events and all that. We're kind of still behind over here in Ireland in that sort of way of doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Still
I'm not too sure about the UK, United Kingdom.
Backgrounds, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
All right, I'll help you.
I just want to say, happy Independence Day.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited.
Oh, yes,
for Independence
it is.
Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 minutes in. Hey, here's the fireworks.
So everyone in Ireland, everyone in America watching over here, happy Independence Day, and obviously we'll say that to you as well.
Yeah, because we don't have any fireworks this week, I don't think.
No, well, we never have any fireworks here anyway. They're banned.
At all, for anything, barely. Ireland hasn't seen the light in years.
Well,
Lindsay says, "Oh wow, I must open 4+ portals a day." I think that's to do with the coffee.
Yeah, go easy on the tea there, Lindsay.
Yeah. Just stay positive.
No, I drink a lot more tea now, so it's fine.
And Joanna said, "Sounds like that. If not, it must be something much darker." So that's going back to the witchcraft, or
witchcraft.
Just
like with
demonic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeri.
With any religion, there's always going to be someone who's extreme. So with any religion, you're going to have the middle ground, which is what the religion is based off of, and then you're going to have the extremists and the very lax. So I think with all the general population of those. So, but I know some witches that are pretty awesome.
True. And just going on from that, there, as you said there, like, people say, like, it's what religion teaches us, it's what Hollywood teaches us there. If we knew what really facts were behind certain things, or don't interpret, jump to the gun, as they would say, like,
right.
We should be more open-minded about things there. I know from
exactly. Yeah.
I know for myself, I've been doing shapes on the floor of our house with chalk, and that was to do with just playing marbles with the kids. So some things that you might interpret as being
it's all about intent.
Something else.
Really, it's all about intent.
Yeah. So
so
folks, there was a poll.
Life is to be positive. It's fine.
True, Jeri. And just moving on there, so we're going to just talk about something else. I'm just going to. There was a poll done during the week, folks, where you could vote and see which fairies do you find the most fascinating. So the results have come in. I'm going to show you the results now. So
dun, dun, dun.
Here are the results, folks. So you voted.
For my banshee hair.
45%. The banshee is the most favourite fairy.
Is it? Is that?
Banshee, yeah. Yeah. Leprechaun is 21.2%.
That's my hair. Look.
The pucker is.
Yeah, we have a banshee here.
The pucker is 12.1%. along with the Changeling at 12.1%,
Okay, cool.
and the Dullahan
Very
at
good.
9.1%.
Okay.
So I
I
suppose
find the Banshee very fascinating.
what do you think about that, Sinead?
Brilliant. I love stories about the Banshee. I really do. Like, yeah, no, I just find it very, very fascinating. I'd love to be able to even think, I don't know what it's true or not true out there, but it's just kind of like this old, woman just throwing her comb and screaming at people, when death is near, and it's just, I don't know, it kind of gives me the shivers thinking about it. And I think it's just these old age stories passed throughout the years, especially with like grandparents and that. And I don't know, I just find it very fascinating. What about you? What do you think about the Banshee?
Well, first of all, I'll pass it on to Jeri. Do you like to comment?
I love the Banshee because that tells you what to expect. I mean, nothing's a surprise, so you know what's coming. Unlike some other things, and I look like a banshee on most days.
So I'm probably just read, because it's interesting with the results there, with what people have voted there, because you look at the Banshee and the Leprechaun. If you look for accounts of people seeing or hearing them, we've even had comments during the week of people leaving on the post. It's mainly the eastern or southeastern part of the country that mostly people are fascinated by the Leprechaun and Banshee, or have seen it. And you could say like the pucker would be the south west and the central part of Ireland, where people have seen the pucker. The Dullahan is mostly the northwest. So demographically, population wise, it makes it interesting that obviously the most seen or most cherished or most interesting fairy to look at is the Banshee and the Leprechaun. Anyway, away from that. Sinead, just a few more questions.
But everybody's heard of the Leprechaun, right?
Yeah. If you have any more questions, just please don't be afraid. Yeah, just don't be afraid. You can ask away. We're here for another 20 minutes or so. So yeah, pop a question in. Be brave. Whatever you want to ask, fling it away on this page, or you can head on to our website too, GhostÉire.net. Private message as well. You know the score. Contact page, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Well, yeah, that's it. So you can keep those questions coming.
We just have a question or a statement from Joanna Lyons. She says, I went down to Kittler's pub in Kilkenny last year. As the whole history of Alice Kittler. Seemingly, she was burnt to the stake. Practicing witchcraft, but the pub in general has an eerie feel to it. Now, Joanna, I suppose it wasn't her that was burnt at the stake. It was her servant, Petronia de Meath. Alice Kittler actually apparently got away with it, and she went into exile and apparently may have gone over to England. Anyway, so the next topic I'd like to talk about then, I suppose, with Jeri, is Muskogee Hell House. And
close, Muskogee. Close.
Just first of all, Jeri,
that's all right.
Muskogee, all right.
Muskogee. I've been saying that
close. You were so close. So close.
Muskogee.
So close.
Muskogee.
Wait,
tell me first, what happened? How did you first hear of the place, or who first introduced you to the place?
We were asked to assist another team to go down to do what we thought was a simple investigation. And let me premise this. I was still very green. Oh my goodness, we have a visitor. I'll tell you about this later.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. I forgot to tell you about this one.
But tell us after, absolutely. Yeah.
They thought it was just a simple haunting. And so this was my second investigation. My first investigation was also in Muskogee at the Batfish. It's a dry dock submarine. It's very active. So we thought we're going to go in and talk to grandmas there, hanging out, saying hi to all the people coming into the house. Well, no, it started right off the bat when we first got there. Again, this is my second green. I'm still learning the ropes, and this investigation really helped mold me into how I wanted to investigate and the things that I wanted to learn for investigations. I don't believe in accidents. I believe everything happens for a reason, and I've made a lot of friends and through these kinds of investigations after this one. So
Cool.
before we even got all the equipment set up, the window right here that you see, that's one of the back rooms, and we're standing in the hall. We're trying to decide where we're going to set up equipment. We're doing a quick walkthrough, and you can see that the room is empty. Okay, I saw somebody walk right by the door, and I'm like, is somebody else supposed to be here? Or am I seeing what I'm supposed to? What I saw. And so then we walked around a little bit, and the Kale, which has lied to me whenever he interviewed me, said that we would just sit in the dark all the time. And then he takes me here. So I always give him a hard time about that. It just kind of went crazy from there. We had activity the whole night. I mean, even doors opening by themselves. We had REM pods. We were attacked by what we think was a very low level, I don't even want to say demonic, but that's what I believe it was. But that was to help me push through. It pushed me to a path to find and help educate other people, whether you're on a paranormal team or if you're having paranormal activity in your home, if you're going to events that I'm at, speaking at, sort of thing. This kind of helped me understand the things that could come up. This is not always fun and games. It can be very serious, and things can happen that you really need to know how to protect yourself. Sorry, my cat just decided to say hi. Say hi, Samson. Okay. He's my ginger.
If all the animals, the better. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it was a very. I don't ever remember being scared through the whole thing. I just remember going, man, I'm not prepared for this. I'm not prepared. But then I started taking notes of my physical cues that were happening, and like I was nauseous. I got a headache. I was very lightheaded. I felt like I was being bound. In one of the videos that I think you put the links for, you can see that Kel prayed over me to have this negative entity off of me, because I felt like it had wrapped its arms around me and was just squeezing. So it was just, in this room. On that windowsill is a REM pod. Again, it's a static. That's the garage. We didn't get a whole lot out there, but there was a little bit. The bathroom. I really did not want to use the bathroom. It creeped me out. There was just something that was like icky in there. It was kind of weird. And then we did have some activity in this living room. There's a video of us in the living room. We're standing at the door, and the door comes open by itself several times on command. So, and if you watch the video, you can see that it looks like somebody is walking past the door and opening it from the outside, but there's an old screen door that squeaked really loud. So there's no way that anybody would have done that. So it was quite intense for me. And, here I'm like, I don't, what is this really happening? Again, I'm really green. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm just sitting there looking, and I'm like, holy crap. I really need to prepare myself for things that, if this is what's going to go on, I really need to prepare myself.
Like just a huge experience all at once happening, and it's fascinating. And did you ever find out?
It was.
Did you ever find out what happened? The history of that place?
Well, come to find out that there was a family that lived there with a teenager, and I believe it was a teenager, and they had used a Ouija board. Now, the bad thing about Ouija boards is if you don't understand how to use them, they can cause a lot of havoc. I'm not going to say you should or shouldn't. That's discretion upon yourself. But if you are going to use one, you should not be doing it by yourself, and you should know what you're doing, because you're going to open something and invite things in that may not be what they say it's going to be, because entities lie to gain your trust.
It's always good to even just to do like even a protection prayer before or afterwards as well. Yeah.
Yes. So make sure you're closing the portal. Yeah. And we do have several different religions on our team, and we do pray before and we do pray after. And we always tell the entities, loved meeting you, but you got to stay here. You got to stay here.
Yeah.
I can't go home. You can't go home with me, bud. Sorry.
Just kind of address them like us. Yeah. Go ahead, Anthony. Yeah.
And like you said about it was like one of your first experiences. Then I suppose as you put straight into the headlights. You could say there, into the car head. It's great to have the courage to continue on and do that. Not many people would do it. Still carry on what you're doing. We've had people do that as well. And one of our first years, we came across a house which needed a sort of exorcism there. We don't do it ourselves now. We believe in that there, but we were learning at the time. We were only going by what the media would do, what you see on TV there. But how do I don't know if you mentioned that the occupiers of the house, are they still living there, or are they happy with?
At the time, it was between occupants. It was a rental house. And so we had brought the owners of the house back in and told them what we had found. And we recommended that they have the house exorcised. And it would be up to them to do that. So we left it to them. If they wanted us to come back, they were more than welcome for us to come back to help bless the house. But we did recommend them go to the church for something of that nature.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good thing to do, and just to kind of advise.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for Sinead to answer.
No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good now. Yeah.
I just go over a couple of shout outs there. So we go to Joanna Lines, and she says Banshee. So she was just talking about that, and she says that's 1324. That's when she was burnt. And then she says, it was Petronia, and she says also White Castle in Attai has at least 4 to 5 spirits in it. Okay. And she's also said, always sometimes I feel a cold spot around the bottom of my bed, which I think it's my boxer who passed away 4 months ago. And Joanna showed us a few pictures of the dog there as well. I'll leave it there. But was it
Jeri?
You felt,
Actually, I was going to ask you the object you had in your hand. Yeah, the object you had in your hand there a couple of minutes ago. Would you just tell us a little bit more about that? Yes.
It's called a batik rock. It's a batik rock, and it's from China. The instructions were in Chinese, and it kind of made me giggle because there was like 2 blurbs on there that they had translated in English, and it said, and I still haven't figured out for sure how it was, if it was green or blue, it was a very good spirit. If it was red, it was a demon and run fast. So that kind of made me giggle.
So that's what you had. That's why you had a couple of minutes ago there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't think so. I mean, but it turns different colors. You can turn it on to like put this EMF thing around. But I mean, so it's kind of, I made it do that. So I don't have no spare right now, but it was kind of cool. And I thought, well, it's $20. Well, we're going to play with it. And usually when it comes on, I show my mom's presents. So, I mean, it's $20 and it lights up. It's pretty. And so I think I really need to start keeping a log of when it comes on and what I feel whenever it comes on. That way, because again, it was in Chinese and those two lines, I was like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with the red run. So, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it just
it's
keeps
a cute
popping
little
up.
thing. So, but I mean,
Yeah,
it
you'd be
lights up. And
warned,
like,
you know.
what is that? Yeah. The first time the red went off, it screamed. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is about, but okay, that's fine. So none of my other stuff went off. So it's probably my mom. So
Yeah.
she hangs out here quite a bit. This is her house.
Okay, so we just before we go on to any more questions. If you got any more questions, we got 5 minutes for the quiz, and I'll just go over. It's 2 words. I'm going to give you one more clue, and the first clue was haunted vehicle. The second clue is president. You know, so it's I might as well give you it. President of America, and it's a haunted vehicle. Now you've got to get this, folks. There, you've got 5 minutes. It's L__C__NS. New word T___N. And if you can't do it in the next 5 minutes, folks, we'll pass it on to Jeri, see if she can get it there. So it's President of the United States, and it's a vehicle. It's that is simple like that, anyway. So Jeri, what have you got planned in the next? I know the situation with the lockdown is getting a bit worse in America. Is there any things planned in the future for Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma?
Well, let's see. Next week's the 11th, right? Next week I have a private consult with a young lady who I believe is very gifted, and I think she needs some guidance on her gifts. And so we're going to have a private consultation on that. So we do a little bit of that. And then we're going to do a house blessing for one of the ladies in one of my groups. She's moving. There's nothing negative there. But when you move, sometimes you just want a fresh, clean start with your own aura. And then in a couple of weeks, I think we have a museum that allows us to come in whenever we want. So it's always a good time. So when it cools off a little bit, it's kind of hot here.
Jam-packed.
We like to go to do, yes. We do have an Indian school that is not too far from us that is very active, and we like to go there. Again, it's hot, and the weeds are crazy, so we don't go there during the summer. But it's when we have that, I'll post it. We usually do lives from there, so. We try to keep busy, but not too crazy, because we all have lives too.
Yeah. It's a good of a bit
True,
of variety going on
there
as well.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sinead.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so if people want to follow you, where would they go to, and where would they check you out there, Jeri?
Well, they can check me out right here, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They can find me on Paranormal Investigations of Oklahoma is my team's page, and then I also have a solo page where I do some solo shenanigans with me and my chickens. Sometimes the cats make an appearance. Jeri Beavers Paranormal Investigations, whether you're on Facebook or Instagram. So, and my email is on all the things. So shoot me a message if I don't get to you right away. I'll get right back to you.
Okay, and so I'm just going to go. I'll just redo the polls again and just go over the quiz. I'll just do this quiz because folks, you've been late coming in, and so we haven't really, no one's got the answers. So I'm going to pass it over to Jeri, see if she knows. So,
I'm going to take a stab. Is it Lincoln's Train?
Woo! Yeah, that is it.
I got it.
Lincoln's Train.
Woo! You got it.
Abraham Lincoln's
now I'm going to have to
train.
do that.
It's his funeral train.
You get a world
find all the
trip.
stuff up about that.
Yeah, it's a funeral train, and it was
I like
supposed to
funeral
haunt
trains.
every April. Yeah, every April you're supposed
Oh, wow.
to see annually, and it's supposed to every time you're supposed past a train station, clocks and watches are supposed to stop. So that's an interesting fact of the day.
Wow.
There,
Where is it?
so,
Yeah, no, I'll have to look up about
Sinead,
that now. Yeah.
so we'll
Maybe
put you
I
in
need
the
to come over
drawer,
in April.
Jerry. So definitely, we'll put you in the drawer. Sinead, maybe
How hot is it in
we'll just
April?
go over where people can contact us.
Yeah. Right. So if you want to contact us, you can actually head on to our website, GhostÉire.net. Head on to the contact page there. Don't be afraid. Fill out the form. You'll be fine. You can put in private message if you want to. We will keep it private. We'll message you back. If you want a public message, you want to put it out there, yeah, we'll do that too on the next live if you want. Or you can just quickly write a question in the next 2 minutes. 1 minute. You have 1 minute left to write a question down there. So please, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're against the clock here.
Give me a question.
Do it.
Give me a question.
Quick, one more question for Jeri here. Come on, one more. I know there's people watching out there.
We've got people coming in. So
Hey,
we've got Joanna Lyons. She says, I guess she was making herself known to me. This was to do with the dog that she was that passed away. This is Joanna Lyons, and it feels like she doesn't want to leave me. I'm okay with that.
I actually have an animal intuitive.
Go ahead, Jerry.
If you need some help, I actually have an animal intuitive on my team. She doesn't know she's on the team yet. I've made her part of the team, but I do have an animal intuitive I can refer you to. Don't you like that? Hey, you're on the team now.
Yeah.
By the way, Gail,
recruiting people behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yes,
so Joanna, if you want to get in contact with Jeri, she can help as well. If you want to get in contact with Jeri as well, she can help you there. And unfortunately, Joanna as well gave the answer Abraham Lincoln. Unfortunately, Jeri took it.
It's close. It's close.
Very close. And named after him. Yeah, it was a train. It's his phantom train. And she says, love it. Great show. Well, a great show. Well done. Just one thing, folks. So the poll there, just go over that thing again there. That thing we did. We will run another poll for the next show. So
and you brought your own banshee, so there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the poll came in, folks. You had a chance to vote on who was the fairy you find most interesting. Banshee came in at 45.5%, the leprechaun at 21.2%, the pucker, which I was talking about last week, at 12.1%, changeling at 12.1%, and the Doulahan at 9.1%. So let me just show what that looks like on another graph, as you can see here. And as you can see, there are the results there. So you voted for the Banshee as the most interesting. Okay. So all I can say is thank you, Jeri, there.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure to hear all the stories and hear what you have to say.
Any plans for tomorrow now, Independence Day?
Well, I'm going to work at the farm, the co-op this weekend, and they're going to do a big fireworks thing, and we're going to have Mexican food. So, I mean, what's 4th of July without Mexican food, right?
Yeah, my favorite type of dish. Yeah.
Me too. Tacos every day.
Tomorrow, Sinead?
Yeah. Sorry?
What are you doing tomorrow, Sinead?
Working.
What are you doing tomorrow?
6 a.m. I'm working at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yes.
And I'm going to come off this and come off this and go straight to bed as well, because I'm up early there. We're all back to work in Killarney. The tourist season's opened up. Jeri, thanks for joining us. I'd love to if you come back on the show again.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah.
I would love to. I'll bring some friends next time. Oh,
do it would be brilliant. Yeah.
And just Joanna says one last thing. Says, well, I'd love to have a chat with an animal intuitive there.
I can hook you up there.
Really,
I can
good.
hook you up. Send me a message.
And I suppose that's it, folks. And thank you for watching and sharing us. And thank you, Jeri, for joining.
Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you, Sinead.
No problem. Yeah.
All can say Slanger foil, and I won't see you next time. I'll see you in the near distance. Bye bye.
Exactly. Bye bye.